relationship with an avoidant person is like being under an illusion about them. They may seem close, but the harder you try to reach out, the further they pull away. Loving an avoidant person is a constant balancing act between hope and disappointment, leaving you wondering if they truly care about you or if there's any future for the two of you. The answer sometimes lies in subtle signs, but because we love them so much, we often overlook these clues. This video will share 7 signs that an avoidant person has decided to leave your life for good. I've previously made a video on this topic, but I feel it wasn't enough, so I'm providing more information to help you make the right decisions. This video is part 2, so if you haven't watched part 1 yet, check it out on my channel or in the playlist. These signs will help you better understand their psychology and recognize whether you're trapped in a cycle of false hope. This isn't just a lesson in identifying someone who no longer wants to stay, but also an opportunity for you to heal your emotional wounds and start building a new life for yourself. Don't miss any details, as I'll help you decipher behaviors that may seem harmless but carry a clear message. It's over. At the end of the video, there will be an important message for you. You deserve to be loved fully and appreciated by someone who is willing to stay by your side. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future helpful videos. Let's get started right now. Sign 1. They are also applying no contact with you. After a breakup, your emotions become a whirlwind of chaos. You miss them, you wonder if they still think about you. In your confusion, you decide to apply the no contact tactic, cutting off communication to make them realize your value. But you're not like them, you're not an avoidant person, so the longing hits you sooner. You've tried breaking the rule, texting them, waiting, hoping that one day they'll change their mind, but the truth is, they don't respond. No messages, no calls, and they might have even blocked you on social media. They're also applying no contact, but not to test your feelings. They're doing it to leave for good. This can be heartbreaking. Being left without an explanation is always an uncomfortable feeling. You wonder, do they miss me? Should I text them again? But remember, their silence is the answer. Avoidant people don't easily open up, and when they decide to leave, it means they've thought about it for a long time. They don't want to face intimacy or complicated emotions, so they choose to cut ties completely to protect themselves. But this isn't the end for you. Instead of spending time waiting for someone who has turned their back, focus on yourself. Turn your pain into motivation to grow. Work on becoming stronger, learn a new skill, and build a life you're proud of. Avoidant people don't come back once they've left. But the more important question is, do you really want to keep waiting for someone who always chooses to walk away? This is just the first sign. Keep watching to find more clarity for the answer in your heart. Sign 2. They return your belongings or ask for theirs back. There's a reason why many people keep an old shirt, a book, or even a cup from their ex after a breakup. It's an excuse to reconnect. Shared items can become a fragile thread that gives two people a reason to meet again, to check if feelings still exist. However, avoidant people don't think that way. If they actively return everything that belongs to you or ask for their belongings back, it's not just a polite gesture. They're trying to firmly close the door on the past. For an avoidant person, keeping your belongings might make them feel emotionally tied, something they've spent their whole life avoiding. They want to control the distance, and the best way to do that is to remove anything that could trigger memories. This doesn't mean they don't have feelings. In fact, they might be struggling internally to keep them cut all connections to protect themselves. There creates a sense of urgency and necessity. Their revenge drives them. Their perspective drives them. The truth is, they don't forget. They're just running away from what makes them uncomfortable. And when an avoidant person starts removing items related to the past relationship, they're showing they have no intention of coming back. However, the next sign is even clearer. They start avoiding places where they might run into you. So, what does that mean? Sign 3. They talk about freedom or feeling relief. If you hear them say things like, "I finally feel free," or "I feel so relieved now," it might hurt you. Because while you're struggling with longing, they seem as if they've just unburdened themselves. But that doesn't mean you're not important. It's just that for avoidant people, intimacy can feel like an invisible cage. Avoidant people have a fear of commitment that even they sometimes don't realize. When a relationship reaches a certain level of closeness, they might start feeling suffocated, not because the other person did anything wrong, but because the excessive closeness makes them anxious. They might love you deeply, but at the same time, they fear losing their independence or getting hurt if someone gets too close. And when a relationship ends, they feel freed from the pressures they couldn't handle. This might make you wonder, how can someone love you and then feel relieved when they leave? The answer is, they're not relieved because they stopped loving you, but because they no longer have to face emotions they don't know how to process. This gives them a temporary sense of safety. But there's an even clearer sign that they're trying to erase all connections. They avoid places where they might run into you. So why do they do that? Sign 4. They avoid places where they might run into you. Mike Bohr, ML. You once thought that one day, when you walked into your favorite coffee shop, you might accidentally see them there. Or maybe they'd show up at the gym, at events you both used to attend, but you wait, and they never come. The truth is, if an avoidant person wanted to reconnect, they'd linger around places you frequent, not because they want to face you directly, but because it's an indirect way of expressing feelings they can't put into words. But when they deliberately avoid familiar places, it means they're trying to forget the memories tied to you. Avoidant people struggle with processing emotions, especially after a breakup. They don't confront, they run away. Returning to a place filled with memories can trigger emotions they don't want to face, so they choose to cut ties completely. Avoiding those places helps them feel like they're in control of their emotions, rather than being swept up in longing and regret. But paradoxically, avoidant people take longer to truly forget a relationship. They may appear cold and decisive, but deep down, this process isn't easy. They don't know how to process grief in the usual way, so they avoid everything related to you, hoping time will do the work for them. So, if they really want to move on, what will they do next? And how many of these signs have you noticed so far? Let me know in the comments below, and let's continue. Sign 5. They don't react when they see you dating someone else. You try dating someone new, partly to move on, partly out of curiosity. Will they react? If they still have feelings, they'd feel uncomfortable, jealous, or at least show some confusion. But if they're completely indifferent, no questions, no reactions, it's likely they've truly let go. I understand, sometimes you just want a sign, something to prove they still care. But be careful, because using someone new to test your ex's feelings isn't just ineffective with avoidant people, it's also cruel to the new person. The person you choose to provoke a reaction might genuinely want to be with you, and they deserve to be valued, not used as a tool to test emotions. Examine. An avoidant person's lack of reaction doesn't mean they don't feel anything. It means they choose not to confront it. Instead of facing jealousy or regret, they block those emotions from the start. This is their natural defense mechanism, avoiding anything that could hurt them, even the jealousy that a normal person might express. But if they've truly let go, they won't just be indifferent to you, they'll also stop caring about old memories. So, how can you recognize this sign? Sign 6. They avoid deep conversations about the past. You try bringing up a beautiful memory, a trip you took together, a moment when you both couldn't stop laughing, or a special day you once promised never to forget. But instead of immersing themselves in the memory as you'd hoped, they stay silent, change the subject, or quickly brush it off. They might smile faintly, nod vaguely, or even ignore it completely, as if those moments never mattered. This can leave you confused and hurt. You might wonder, did nothing between us mean anything to them? Have they forgotten everything? But the truth isn't that simple. Avoidant people don't deny the past because it's unimportant. They deny it because they don't want to face the emotions that come with it. Unlike those with secure attachment styles, avoidant people aren't good at processing deep emotions, especially ones that make them feel vulnerable. Instead of confronting the pain, they choose to disconnect completely. They're afraid that revisiting the past will bring up unresolved emotions. If they admit that the memories once mattered, they'll also have to face the loss and regret, and that makes them feel out of control, something they always try to avoid. So, have they really forgotten you? Avoidant people may seem like they've moved on, but deep down, they still hold on to memories of you. They just choose not to touch them. To know for sure whether they've truly forgotten, pay attention to a more important sign. Do they still care about the old memories? If they really want to close the old chapter, what will they do with the photos, gifts, or songs that were once tied to the two of you? This is the next sign to look out for. Sign 7. They seem happier without you. You scroll through social media and see them smiling brightly. Photos of them traveling, engaging in new activities, and enjoying life as if nothing ever happened. No trace of sadness, no cryptic status updates, no nostalgic posts. Have they really forgotten you? This feeling is painful because you're still immersed in old memories, while they seem to be living a better life without you. But is this truly happiness, or just a defense mechanism of an avoidant person? Have you ever wondered why avoidant people seem happier after a breakup? Unlike those with secure attachment styles, avoidant people don't confront their emotions directly. When a relationship ends, they rarely dwell on the pain or sit down to analyze what went wrong. Instead, they try to avoid the hurt by staying busy, appearing happier, and completely distancing themselves from anything that reminds them of you. They seek out new hobbies, traveling, trying a new sport, joining social activities, or focusing on self-improvement. They post happy photos on social media, partly to convince others and themselves that they've moved on, and partly to control their image in the eyes of others. They smile more, socialize more. But this doesn't mean they're completely okay. Sometimes it's just a way to mask the emptiness inside. Avoidant people aren't good at processing emotional pain, so they avoid it. They might feel relieved after leaving an intimate relationship, but that doesn't mean they don't feel the loss. The happiness you see might not be genuine happiness, but rather a coping strategy. They see avoidance as a way to protect themselves. For avoidant people, emotional distance equals safety. If they don't talk about the past, they can convince themselves it no longer matters, that they've moved on, even if that's not entirely true. They're afraid you're trying to pull them back. A deep conversation about the past might make them feel pressured, as if you're hoping to reconcile or seeking confirmation that they still have feelings. For them, this can cause anxiety and push them to create more distance rather than get closer. They believe avoiding the past will help them move on faster. Avoidant people tend to process pain by completely blocking out anything that reminds them of the old relationship. For them, talking about the past is pointless. It only pulls them back into something they've decided to leave behind. Avoidant people may not talk about the past, but that doesn't mean they've erased it from their minds. They simply don't want to touch those memories because they don't know how to process their emotions. Whatever they're doing, we should respect their decision to walk away. Instead of trying to find signs that they still care, focus on the fact that they've chosen a different path. This isn't a negative thing. It's an opportunity for you to do the same. Instead of fixating on their lack of contact, ask yourself, what can I do to build a life I'm proud of? Turn this pain into motivation to invest in yourself, your career, mental health, and new relationships. Life doesn't stop when a relationship ends. It opens a new chapter where you can explore possibilities you've never considered before. They've moved on and you deserve to do the same. Advice for you: accepting that a relationship has ended is never easy. You might tell yourself you're okay, but memories still creep into your mind. Old habits make you nostalgic, and a part of you still hopes that things might change one day. But the first step to healing is facing the truth. The relationship is over, and holding on only traps you in a cycle of pain. There's nothing wrong with remembering the past, but if you keep living in those memories and unrealistic fantasies about the future, you're only hurting yourself. See the breakup not as an end, but as an opportunity to rediscover yourself. Maybe in the past you spent too much time and energy trying to please the other person, proving your worth, or maintaining a relationship that no longer brought happiness. But now you have the chance to put yourself first, to understand yourself better, and to grow in ways you've never imagined. Exercise appeals to a wide range of human beings. Instead of worrying about whether they regret losing you, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. A man of value isn't someone who tries to hold on to a person who no longer wants to stay, but someone who understands that his worth doesn't depend on anyone else. Start by investing in yourself. Advance your career, expand your knowledge, improve your health, and build new social connections. Read books that broaden your perspective, learn a new skill that benefits your work, or challenge yourself with a physical goal like gym training or running a marathon. When you focus on yourself, you not only become stronger but also attract people who truly deserve you. One of the biggest mistakes after a breakup is seeking validation from your ex, hoping that if you change, if you become better, they'll come back. But real love isn't a competition or a test. The right person for you won't make you feel insecure, won't force you to change to please them, and won't easily walk away when you need them most. If someone can leave your life without looking back, let them go. The past can't be changed, but the future can. Don't let what's already happened hold you back. Every pain, every lesson from the past relationship is just a part of the journey that helps you grow. Let it be your motivation, not your chains. When you confidently move forward, you'll realize you deserve a lasting love, a relationship where you don't have to prove yourself, and a life where you're in full control. Hold your head high and continue your journey, because the best version of you is still ahead. Thank you for watching the video. If you've made it this far, I truly appreciate your time and attention. I hope today's sharing has given you new perspectives and helped you find some answers you've been seeking. Do these signs resonate with your situation? Is there anything you'd like me to explain further? Love, whether happy or broken, is a valuable experience that helps us understand ourselves and what we truly need. If you have a story to share or are struggling with something, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'm always here to listen and walk this journey with you. Don't forget to like, share this video with those who might need it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Thank you for being part of this journey. Stay strong and believe that the best is yet to come.